And a good morning to you, Critter Barn friends. My name is Mary, and welcome to the Critter Barn. It's Saturday morning, and we promised you a little goat milking demonstration. Sounds like I've got a few comments coming here from the peanut gallery. What's up, Petunia? Hello, Steve. What's up? Huh? Do you want to milk the goat too? We got a couple pot-bellied pigs that come in our room here for the night because I get a little cold. They haven't gone back outside yet. Here, Steve, go find the Cheerios. We'll give Petunia some too. Hello. Hello, there you go. You just go find all the little Cheerios. That's a great idea, you know, for your moms and dads. If you get bored at home, they could just throw a bunch of Cheerios around the house. You go on to milk. We're going to try to keep the pigs quiet. How about you come along with me and we're going to get started. We have to go get some feed for the dairy goat. They like to eat while we milk them. So, hello all you baby goats. Hello. Hello little baby goats. Hello little goats. Here's all the little ones. You realize that the baby goats are the reason that the mama goats make milk, right? So if it wasn't for all these little cutie pies, you wouldn't have any milk. All right, so don't get lost.
Doing?
We're gonna just step in the feed room here a second and get some goat grain. All of our goat grain is kept in a covered bin, keeps mice and bugs out. Oh, look at this, it's all full of corn and sunflower seeds and soybeans and molasses and bran and oh my goodness, look at all that good stuff. Soybean oil, that's a big ingredient. Soybean oil keeps the dust down, plus it's good for them. Anyway, we'll take a little goat grain along for our girls and head back to get a goat. Now we have to have a goat to milk, right? So follow me out of the feed room and we're gonna go to the dairy goat pen. So I'm a little off schedule here because I'm doing this for a demonstration. They don't know I'm coming. This ought to be good. They're either going to ignore me or they're all going to come out at one time. Say, goaty goat, I need somebody to milk. I need somebody to come out as a volunteer. Well, you haven't had, no, that's probably not the best one. Who wants to volunteer? I need a goat. I need a goat to volunteer. Let's see here. I know, you're probably wondering, what in the world am I doing? It's the wrong time. But we have some friends who are visiting us on our Facebook Live. Oh, Violet, you'd be ideal. Here we go. Okay, Violet's gonna volunteer. Here we go. She's a good girl. There we go. Obviously, leaving the pail there was probably not the best idea. There we go. Okay, we've got our feed, we've got our goat. Let's go milk. Come on. That's a good girl. Here, I'll wait for you to catch up a minute. So boys and girls, we milk the goats twice a day. Here she goes. Here you go. Here you go. There's your food. So I'm surprised she didn't jump in her stand. Come on, Violet, you know the routine. Here we go. Up, 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 up. So Violet is a Nubian goat. She's several years old. I guess I'm gonna say she's about 4 or 5 years old this year. Not quite sure as I think about it. Nubian is the type with the long bell ears, and she certainly has the long ears. She's a pretty good milker. All right, we got the bell ears. Hi, gorgeous. Hello. On the back side is where the udder is, or on a goat, we call it a milk bag. She has 2 nipples that produce milk. One side is separate from the other. So if you squeeze milk out of one side, you could empty it and the other side would still be full. It's actually divided, even though it looks like it's all one bag of milk. When we get to milk the goat, we want to first get the germs off And so we have a solution called Delasoft. It has betadine and aloe in it. And we like to come around and just get the lower part of her bag, which is called her teat, or that nipple there. We like to get that saturated so the germs go away. And meanwhile, the goat's busy eating. She's happy, she's eating. We'll just wait just a little bit, and then we'll get the milk out. When a goat lays down during the day, she lays on her stomach. So her belly and her bag is in contact with the bedding and possibly the manure. It's the germs, right? So that's why we want to take it and get it cleaned first before we start milking. Did you know they do that to the dairy cows too before they get the milk for you? Like milk for ice cream, milk for yogurt, for cheese. Cows are kept very clean. They're all cleaned off before the milk is taken so that there's no germs. That's pretty important. I have a special little cup here I thought I'd just show you a second. When a baby is born and we need that first milk from the mom, I kind of set this right underneath the mom if the baby's weak. And I squirt a little milk through that screen. It's the colostrum, the very first milk that comes out. And then we can keep it nice and warm and put it in a tube back to the baby, or maybe feed it through a bottle if it's a baby goat. But that's just another way to milk. Today I'm going to use a bucket that I've had since 1990. This bucket has been my milking bucket since back then. Got it from Caprine Supply. I like it because it's a lower pail, a little wider, and we'll just put that here right under the goat. I wish you could just talk right through the video. Who knows how to get the milk out of the goat? Lots of times when I ask boys and girls and there's a class full, they say, you gotta squeeze it, you gotta squeeze it. And I love to tease, I love to say, okay, we're gonna give this goat a big squeeze. Did any milk come out? No. Well, actually right down here where my hand is, there's a huge blood vessel. I can feel it with my fingers right here. And maybe you can see the ripples of that big blood vessel right here along her body. It's one on each side. From her heart, the blood that carries all the nutrients of her food pumps blood into this milk bag from these veins. They're actually nicknamed milk veins, but there's no milk in them. No, that miracle happens here in the bag. It happens, the blood actually cycles through that bag, and when it gets into the little capillaries that meet up with the milk ducts, voila, you get milk. It's a miracle that happens in the body of every mammal. I don't care if it's a mouse or a rabbit, a dog or a cat, a pig, a cow, a goat, a horse. All the mammals make milk for their babies after they've had a baby. So first you have to have a baby. Well, we've got the baby goats, and now she's making milk. All you do is squeeze the teat and the milk comes out. So let me give you a little example. As a beginner, I would say, take your thumb and first finger, put a pinch at the top of the teat, then bring the rest of your fingers around and squeeze. Then you relax your hand, seal it at the top, and squeeze again. Seal it at the top, squeeze, relax, and gravity lets it fill up again. It takes just a short time to milk out a goat by hand. And when we first had the Critter Barn, even before it was the Critter Barn, we milked all of our goats by hand, which is fine. It just takes a little longer, and if you can hook them up to the inflations of the machine, you just get the job done a little faster. For kids that take classes here, we like to have you all learn how to milk a goat by hand. And it's just kind of fun. I love to lean my head up against her. It helps the milk come down. Actually, if you take your hand and go like this, it relaxes the goat, lets the milk come out. Because she has milk not only in this bag, but she's actually got milk in glands that are above her bag. And so that's why we say we want the milk to let down, so it comes down and out. I'm gonna just let her stand there for a second. If I was going to take this milk in the house, I would pour it through this filter. It's just a little paper filter. And then I would pour the milk into the funnel like so. That way, if there's a hair or a little dust, something that I don't want in the milk, it's filtered out. And then all I have to do is take it in the house, put it in the refrigerator. In a couple hours, it'll be nice and cold, and it will be ready to drink. It is so delicious. There it is. Good, fresh milk. Now, if you could get on a jet airplane and go around the world, you'd find a lot of boys and girls that drink goat milk. But actually, the cow milk is the #1 most popular worldwide. More people drink cow milk. If you want to do things a little bit faster, then you can do it with inflations. And we have a machine here that creates suction, and it will pull the milk through these tubes, and that will help milk the goat. We have a set that will milk 2 goats at a time. If you go to some of the dairy farms around here, they will have anywhere from 16 to 24 to even 32 sets of inflations on one side. Think about that, do your math. What's 2 times 32? You get 32 cows lined up and milking here. While they're milking, the cows on the next side come in and they wash and hook up 32 more. Then they're done, they leave while they are milking, and they get washed up and connected, and you keep going. So you're working with 64 cows at a time. There's a farm that I've seen with a circular milking system, and it can actually hold 72 cows at a time. And from the time they get on it, it's like a slow moving merry-go-round. They go all the way around. By the time they get to the end, about 5 minutes later, they're all finished and they step off and go back to their pen. The cows enjoy the routine. They eat all day and rest, and they come in twice a day on a typical farm to be milked. There are a few farms that use robots, and the cows can come in whenever they feel like it. And there are some farms that milk every 8 hours, so 3 times a day. When I turn this machine on, it will make some noise. I'll demonstrate the suction, and then I'll also put it right on the goat so that you can see the milk coming down through the pipes. It's going to go into a collection tank, much like a giant tank at a dairy barn, and then it gets refrigerated and cooled and often picked up by a tanker truck to go to the dairy, where it gets changed into butter or cottage cheese or puts in a gallon jug for milk for you to drink. Anyway, the machine is just kind of fun to demonstrate. Here we go. So do you see, this is holding onto my hand? That's suction. The motor has pulled the air out and created a vacuum in that tank. And when I put this on the goat, it's going to suck the milk out. Can you do this? That's suction. You've used a straw. You use a vacuum sweeper. Vacuum needs to be replaced with air. So on the goat, when I put it on, are you watching? You just drop the teat right in. Drop the other teat right in. Flip a little lever that opens things up, and voila, the milk is going right into the tank. If you look at the goat, she's extremely comfortable. It's a nice way to get the milking done. Normally I would have a second stand here and we'd milk 2. I have a girlfriend who can milk 6 at a time on each side because she has more goats. Whatever your need, you can create a machine that's bigger and fits your needs. Critter Barn's small, so this seems to work out just fine for us. But I love showing you how a cow is milked. because that lets you understand how all the people in our whole country can always have fresh milk and all the other wonderful dairy products from cows, because there's plenty. If farmers had to milk all the cows by hand, we might not have so many dairy products around. That'd be a lot of work. So you see how she's comfortable and how the milk is just moving right through the tube and right into the can that collects the milk. Boys and girls, if you have any questions about this, you can certainly email us at office@critterbarn.org, just office@critterbarn.org. If you've got questions, we'd be happy to hear from you. She's just about empty. I wanted to go down and check her. So remember, a goat is pregnant for 5 months. During the last 6 weeks, her udder gets ready for the baby. But because she's a dairy animal and we treat her just like a cow, we're going to milk her with a machine and feed the babies with a bottle. And so she comes out here twice a day. By taking all the milk out, her body makes as much as it can because we're taking it all out. If we only took out a little bit, it would only replace what we took out. So by milking her completely twice a day, she's giving us the most that she possibly can. I raised my 3 children on goat's milk. Lots of boys and girls drink it. It makes a wonderful farmer's cheese. It makes a wonderful feta cheese. You can do things like a sorbet with goat milk. I guess we'll have to think about that, because coming up soon, we're going to have soap made from goat milk from our own goats here. My staff has been working on that. So lots of good things to think about. I hope you enjoyed coming to see this milking demonstration. Now that she's done, we want to protect her from getting germs, bacteria, or dust. So I'm going to just put a little dip right on the end, and she is good to go back home and chill out, take a nap. So, are you ready, Violet? Here we go. Say goodbye to the kids. Here. The kids are watching. The kids. Look, they're watching. Oh, they're watching. You say goodbye. Have a good Saturday. We'll see you next week. We'll see you next week, Monday at 11 o'clock. Did you hear her? Can you understand goat language? You have a good day. Bye-bye, everybody.